Hello. So I have been learning a lot about security and all the security features that Azure offers, and there is a ton that they offer in security. And so the main thing you need to know about security is that there is the Azure Security Center where you monitor all your security across your services on Azure and for your on-premises um, devices. Yeah, it doesn't just show your Azure resources, it can also connect and show the security for your on-premises resources. So this security center is the main place for doing security things and checking the security. So you can also see how strong your security on your Azure account is with your security score. Um, and so that way you can check your how secure your resources are. And there's even a security information and event management system called Azure Sentinel, which collects security data from all your sources and puts it into one place for you. So Azure Security Center for keeping track of your security. And then there are many different ways you can keep your resources secure on Azure. So one of the first things we learn about is this key vault, which can store like secret things like passwords or values that you don't want people seeing. And so there actually was a key vault exercise, which I have open right now. And I've already created the key vault. So I can show you that we can go in here and generate a secret, and we can enter the secret value, which there's a password that they want you to use in this. And I mean, you can use this password that they provide you. You don't have to, but yeah, you can just call it my password because this will get deleted. And then we have the value, which is the password that they provided. And so we can click create, and then this creates our secret. And then we can click on this and see here from the Azure portal, we can see this secret value because we are an authorized user. But also we can access this password or this secret value from the Cloud Shell, Azure Cloud Shell, which is a Azure terminal where you can input commands. So they have a command here which will access your key vault, and you will have to change this name of the key vault to whatever your key vault name is, and I've already copy and pasted it. Oh, whoops, I did not already copy and paste it. I thought I did, but then I copy and paste the password. I have it right here with my key vault name, so I can copy that and paste that into here, and then when I run it, it will give me my password that I stored in my key vault. And so that is a useful way of storing secret passwords and things like that. So if we go back, we don't need that open anymore. So yeah, that's just one way to keep secure values on Azure. Only authorized users will be able to access that key vault and the value in the key vault. So, yeah. And if we keep going, there's like just tons more ways of keeping things secure, like a crazy amount of stuff. There's firewalls, and there's this defense in depth strategy, which is really cool in my opinion. It basically is just like tons of different layers that like slow attacks down so that you have a lot more chance to catch that attack and stop it real without it getting to too many of your things, which I think is super cool. And so the last security feature I want to show you is is the network security groups, which there is another exercise on this, and this one doesn't require so much setup. I just have to activate the sandbox and I'll deactivate my previous sandbox, and then it's a lot of different commands that you'll put in this the Azure Cloud Shell terminal. And so what this will do is it will create a virtual machine, and we will be able to access it from an IP, except the IP will block us until we add ourselves to the network security group, which will allow us to access it. So once this has been created, I can copy this first command, which will create a virtual machine for us. So once this is loaded for the Cloud Shell, just 1 second, we will paste this command into it and run it. Um, Last time I did this, so I've successfully completed this exercise once, and I tried to do it again, and this installation of NGINX did not work. And I did a little bit of research on NGINX, and it is basically just like a security layer uh, of some kind. And so, yeah. And this was causing errors last time, which didn't allow me to do the network security group properly. So, yeah. So if this doesn't work, then I won't be able to show you how I'm accessing the virtual machine. And I tried to do a little problem solving, but I wasn't able to get that. So there it goes. It boots up my virtual machine that I just created. And now I'm going to try and add the NGINX, and if we get a bunch of errors, then I guess I won't be able to show you how it lets me access it. But yeah, I've had it work once, and it's basically, yeah, once you get the virtual machine up, you have to add yourself to your network security group for it, and only then can you access the virtual machine. So I would love to be able to get this up and running and show you, but there's a chance it'll cause an error because it did last time. And so yeah, it takes a little bit for it to run, but so yeah, at first it's supposed to look like we can't be able to reach this page, and then oh, there we go. It worked. So yeah, we'll be able to show you this. So first we um can copy this thing to see our IP address for the virtual machine, or be able to see our IP address. And then we will try to get this through, we will add a connection timeout, and we should see that our connection timed out. Yep, after. And so now we can now that we have a connection timeout timer and we have access, we can enter this to see our, and now we can take this IP address to check out our virtual machine, and we click enter. It should result with a connection timeout after that 5-second timeout that we just added. And yeah, so you see it's loading. It's not going to end up getting us to our virtual machine. Yeah, it took too long to respond. And so that's because we don't have access it to our network security groups. So now we're going to list the security group rules. So we will paste this command to see our network security group associated with the virtual machine. And there we have my VM NSG. And so we will copy this to list the rules associated with the network security group. And then here we have this. It's not very readable in this format, our rules. So what we can do is this line of code puts it in a format that is easy for us to read the rules. And so now we can see that we have this name is allowed to access it from port 22. And so now we are not using this. We are using port 80. So we will create a new rule that will allow us to access the virtual machine. So we will input this code to create the new rule. And once that is done running, we will run the code again to see the rules so that we can see that we do have access. So now we can check the new list of rules. And so now we can see here, this is us. We are allowed to access the virtual machine, whereas up here we're not. And so now we will run the same 5-second timeout command earlier, and now it'll give us access to our virtual machine or not. Um, hmm. Here we go. Now we can access our virtual machine from this page, and this is all that is here on this virtual machine. Welcome to Azure. My name is VM. But yeah, so that's how we do network security groups for accessing VMs. So yeah, that's what I've been learning about. Part 5 has been getting into authentication and authorization, which authentication and authorization, they made it clear that these are two different things, which authentication is the process of establishing the identity of a person, and authorization is establishing the level of access the authenticated person has. So, yeah, that's what we'll be getting into in part 5. And so, yeah, that's what I've been learning about.